church. I'm going to do the first 2/3 of this reading in justice because I'm going to go a little bit fast. I'm going to go a little fast because all I want to do is give a little context. I've given you the benediction already. You already know where the end of the word. You already know where I'm going because I began with the end in mind. And I gave you the end. You know where we're going. But let me show you how to get there. 8 and 1. Are you there? Amen. In those days, the multitude being very great and having nothing to eat, folk would come to church hungry because they're trying to get there. They weren't trying to stop and have coffee, breakfast, sausage, McMuffins. They was trying to get to where the word was going on. I'm going to leave y'all alone. And having nothing to eat, Jesus called his disciples unto him and saith unto them, I have compassion on the multitude because they have now been with me for 3 days. They haven't been home for 3 days. Huh? And have nothing to eat. They haven't eaten. Three days. Now I know after two and a half, after a day, some of y'all been like, this revival right here, I'm going to see y'all tomorrow night. Because with all the miracles going on, all the word going on, I got to go home to give me something T-E-A-T. You know what T-E-A-T spelled? Teat. I'm going to give you something T. No, I haven't been down south. Jesus said, verse number 3, and if I send them away fasting, because they haven't eaten, to their own houses, they will faint by the way, on the way home. This is how hungry folk are hanging out with Jesus. Listen, hanging out with Jesus ain't always fun, but it is always sacrificial. The reason why I say sacrificial, because he didn't have a fenced-in area where they couldn't get out. It was an open-air service. People can leave whenever they want to, but guess what? People did not want to leave. It ain't like they didn't have things to do, places to go, people to meet. But they sacrificed those things to be in the presence of Jesus. Where the Word made flesh was giving them life. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Jesus said, I have come that you might have. What they were receiving was life. They weren't just receiving good preaching, good parables, good sayings. Buddha said some good stuff. Lao Tzu said some amazing things. Jesus gave life. Huh? If I send them over there, to their own houses, they will faint, by the way, for divers of them, many of them, majority of them, came from far. It wasn't just a simple walk home to get a sandwich. A lot of them came miles and miles, and they didn't have cars back then. And his disciples answered him, from whence can a man satisfy these men with bread here in the wilderness? Now, it's interesting the disciples said this because they've been in another situation just like this. And there had to be, at that time, 5,000 men, let alone women and children. In other words, we've seen this before. Y'all remember that? Remember reading about that? Remember hearing about that? This ain't the 5,000. This is another occasion. And the 5,000 was a previous occasion. So by now, we should have an experience on how to deal with crowds when they're hungry. Right? Are you with me? There's an SOP. There's a standard operating procedure that Jesus uses when a great number of people are hungry. So Jesus, being Jesus, does what Jesus does, right? Would it be unusual to ask Jesus to do what he does? It wouldn't be unusual because that's just what Jesus does. Would it be unusual to ask God to do what he does? Huh? Would it be all right to have faith and asking a God to do what he has already done? All right. Would it be okay to expect Shady to bark?
Yes, it would be okay.
That'd be all right? That wouldn't be presumptuous or offensive to anybody. It wouldn't be too much to ask Shady to bark. Huh? You know why? Because she's a dog. Dogs bark. You know, we are ashamed and hesitant to ask God to heal or to deliver or to make a way. Like we're asking too much. Like, do you know this dog will bark whether I ask her to or not? Huh? Do you know God will be God if you ask him to or not? Because God is a way maker. Matter of fact, he makes ways
out of no ways.
Out of no way. I've seen him do it. God will deliver. God will. I've come to the conclusion that, it wasn't my conclusion because it was made long before I was ever born, but I've come to the conclusion to agree that there is nothing too hard for God. But when it gets all personal and we start getting, emotional and we stop thinking with our head and start getting concerned, we act like we can't ask God for what he's able to do. Like we won't have faith in a God that has already proved that he's God and he can do it. We will say, no, it's impossible. It's too far gone. It's too much. Huh? So, it brings us to a very humanistic, humanly understandable fork in the road where we can either flee or follow. Some of you right now are in situations where you don't know what to do. Amen. And the way that you're looking at it and the way that you're adding it up, there's nothing left. So I might as well go back to what I know. I might as well go back to what I'm familiar with. Because this right here, it's unfamiliar, it's uncomfortable. I'm going through stuff I don't need to be going through. I ain't gonna call Carla's name. Call Carla's name. What did I tell you when you came in? What did I tell you? I was gonna fuss at you. Okay. Are you okay?
Okay.
All right. Because I don't want you to flee.
I'm not gonna flee.
I want you to. There's a thing that is in our psyche that if it gets down and dirty enough, we come to the conclusion that we are either going to
fight or flight.
Fight or flight. And fighting or fleeing has nothing to do with faith. Left to our own ideology, left to our own feelings, we think, okay, all right, it's one or two things getting ready to go down. It's one or two. The way I see it, it's one or two things getting ready to happen. Either I'm going to fight or I'm out. Either way, somebody getting hurt. It might be hurt on your part because you're going to miss me when I'm gone. And maybe I'm going to miss you. I don't know. But right now, I'm willing to roll the dice on that.
Yes. But
I'm about to have my way. And my way says, either I'm going to hit you in your left eye with my right hand. And you ain't going to see it coming. Pow! Listen. The very person that you're closest to that you said you would never hit. Leave me alone. That's the only person that's qualified to back you up into a corner. To make you feel so vulnerable that you can't do nothing else with. But fight. Why? Because you're backing. You feel against the wall. I ain't got nowhere to go. So the only way I got to go is through you. Now I ain't going down. I am not going down. I am not. Listen, you ain't gonna put me in this position. You ain't gonna back up and no, my daddy didn't marry me. You back somebody up enough, you will find what they're capable of. Y'all won't talk back to me.
Absolutely.
I got to hurry. His disciples answered him and said, from whence can a man, that was the first mistake, I gotta satisfy these men with bread here in the wilderness? And he asked them, how many loaves have ye? And they said, 7. Are you reading this with me? Go a little bit faster. Now remember, on previous occasion, how many loaves were there? 5 loaves. 2 fish. How many people? 5,000 men. Now we got 7 loaves. Sounds like more than enough. Certainly more than last time. And he commanded the people to sit down on the ground, and he took the 7 loaves and gave thanks. I don't have time. This ain't Sunday. This ain't first Sunday. I get excited when I hear terms like this because I know how relative the Bible is. And when Jesus gives thanks, now it's no different from him giving thanks then at the Last Supper. And the transcourse that occurs between him and his Father is of such exponential value that which is with him becomes different. When he takes the bread and he breaks it, he gives thanks, it stops being bread. So much so that he takes it and he says, this is my body. How did it become your body? The same way 7 loaves stop being 7 loaves. The same way that 5 loaves stop being 5 loaves. Something happens when Jesus gives thanks to the Father. I don't have time to press into the theological teaching here that's available, but allow me to continue. He commanded people to sit down on the ground, and he took the 7 loaves, and he gave thanks, and he broke it and gave it to the disciples who was set before them, and they did set them before the people, and they had a few small fishes, and he blessed them, and commanded to set them also before them, and they did eat and were filled, and they took up the broken meat that was left, 7 baskets of meat. And they that had eaten were about 4,000. And they took up 7 baskets after everybody had eaten and were full from just a few fishes and 7 loaves. Huh? You with me? What was I got to do the price of tea and trying to hold on? They that eaten were about 4,000, and he sent them away. And straightway, this is Mark. You know you're reading Mark when you hear phrases like straightway and right away and immediately, because Mark was a power book. Mark wants you to see not the genealogy of Christ, but the power of Christ. He says things like straightway. You won't find Matthew saying straightway or immediately. Mark is just, he's all about the power of God being enacted right before the eyes of people. And he says, and straightway he entered into a ship with his disciples, and he came to a part of whatever that name is, I can't pronounce it right now. And the Pharisees came forth and began to question with him, seeking him a sign from heaven. Like they didn't just see a sign. Like right before their eyes, there wasn't a miracle performed. Like that's not enough to prove that he's the Son of God. I mean, whatever this man says, believe him. Huh? 12. And he sighed deeply in his spirit because they're looking for a sign and they just missed the one that's important. And he says, why doth this generation seek after a sign? Verily I say unto you, there shall no sign be given unto this generation. And he left from them, and entering into the ship, he got to the other side of the water because he was done with them. Their level of faith, what they were looking for, what they were seeking. He didn't have something so small when he had already given something so great. Now the disciples had forgotten to take bread. You would think out of the 7 baskets this time, they would. But you know, that's cool because when you with Jesus, you're good. Because with Jesus, you got everything. Help me say with Jesus. I have everything. See, you all, I heard you say it, and I know you know enough to say it and feel good in your bodies and in your faith and everything about it. But when it comes to practically applying what you just said, sometimes you're going to look in the cupboard and ain't nothing in the cupboard. And you're going to feel bad. You're not going to feel sufficient. You're not going to feel God is able. What you feel is, we ain't got no groceries. But if you have Jesus, I remember being at a certain part. I need to explain some things to you. I need you to understand that I have never seen the righteous forsaken.
Amen.
Nor his seed beg for bread. Now, I've been in the food line. I have. I've been in the food line. Because there was loss of jobs and wages and things like that. My money got so low that I found out where they were giving out food. And I said, shoot, I'm going to go get me some of that. Look, pride aside, I got a family. And they just looking at me. They don't, if I stole it or however I got it, they just need to eat. So if I choose to go get where they handing it out, then I'm going to wait in line. Huh? Once somebody see me, they're going to see me waiting in line. They ain't going to see me begging. I've never seen the righteous beg for food. But I myself, I've been in the food line. I've been in a place where I'm wondering where my next meal is going to come from. There's a knock at the door and somebody got some groceries. I've been the beneficiary of somebody giving me groceries. Now listen, I got a lot of pride, but I ain't got so much pride I can't say thank you. Y'all getting mighty quiet on me. I wish you'd say amen. I wish you'd say ouch. I wish you'd say something. You don't know how much of a limb Anthony knows. You don't know how much of a limb that I'm going to even share these testimonies with you, because I'm not that guy.
Amen.
This happened. I experienced it, but I'm not going to tell you about it. The Lord says, if you don't tell it, I can't get glory.
Jesus.
So as private of a man as I am more complicit in giving God glory than I am uncovering myself.
All right.
I want God to be God in your lives, even if it's me that has to make a sacrifice. You might look at me different, but I want you to look at God different. How did man of God get to a place where he ain't got no money, he ain't got no food? What kind of man of God is that? I'm the kind of man of God that God gave a testimony to. And that testimony gives God glory. You see the guy riding a Bugatti, living on the house on the hill. Oh, he blessed. I'm blessed in the food line. I'm blessed in the city. I'm blessed in the hill. I'm blessed in my going out and in my coming in. I'm blessed because I have a relationship with God. Not that I got food in my cupboard. Food in my cupboard does not reflect, neither does it denote a relationship with God. You don't know, I could have robbed, stole, killed. You don't know how I got that car. You don't know how I got that house or who I cheated out of it. I know real estate now. I know how to flip some stuff around. That's not, but I don't do it. I don't do it because I have a God. Not because of lack of knowledge. I know how to do some things. I know how to flim a flam. Lord help me. I don't hurry up here. The disciples forgotten to take bread. Neither had they in the ship with them more than one loaf. Guess what? One loaf is more. Had they been thinking, they know about the 5,000, they know about the 4,000, they know about the 12 baskets, they know about the 7 baskets. They got one loaf like this is all we got? You better quit looking at You better quit looking at yourself and what you got and what you think you ain't got enough. You better quit looking at your check and what you think is enough. You better quit looking at your account. You better quit looking at your cupboard and what you think you ain't got enough. You better take what you got, give God glory, bless his name, give thanks, and watch how much you take up in the baskets after. After everybody's full, watch what you got left. Because you had a grateful heart, because you gave thanks. Lord, I realize this is what I got, but I'm going to give you thanks. Thank you for my one loaf. And I need you to know that a loaf in those days translates to a biscuit. You ever had some Pillsbury biscuits and 8 come in a can? Guess how I know. That'd be 8 loaves if we're going to make this thing equitable. A loaf amounts to about a biscuit. 15. And he charged them saying, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod.